Hey YouTube, Rob Lolly with Lolly Artistry, and right now we're going to finish off where we left off, pick up where we left off. We're going to get my logo etched into the blade, and real simple, car charger, some salt water, Q-tip, and I'll bring you in close and you can watch me do it. All right, hang on. Okay, we got our positive hooked to the steel. Got the Q-tip soaked with salt water, and I got my area marked off, taped up where I don't want any etching. And I've got my vinyl from a Cricut with my logo on it. And all you do is just touch the Q-tip with the salt water to the blade, and it etches. This takes a few minutes. I mean, this isn't a big logo, so there it is. It's backwards, of course, to the camera, but there's my LA. It's right in the steel. And now we're ready for a handle. Okay, and now we're ready for the glue up. You can see I've got both of my handles marked with an X. That's the inside. That's going to meet to the tang. Everything else is ready to go. You can see I set up everything ready to go. I've got the acetone up here for cleaning. I use a little bit of Pearl X in the epoxy. Just I like to add a little bit of color in case there's any kind of blemish or anything. It can hide if there's any cracks, you know, in your drills or anything like that. It'll help. I got my stir stick. I got Q-tips ready to go. So blades taped right to where we want the epoxy to go. And now we're ready. So let's get this glued up. Q-tip, acetone. Just start going around the edge of where that is. Now it's going to continue to ooze out as that hardens up a little bit, but we get it as clean as possible, and don't keep reusing it. Grab another one. That's why I got a handful here. So it's easier to clean it up now. Make sure you don't have any on the wood that you've already sanded up to 400 grit. Get her good and clean. If you got any metal exposed, make sure there's nothing on there. Get right in there. Just give her pressure. So that acetone has something to clean up against. Now you can go around the knife if you want to. I mean, if you want to take some of it off, you can. But honestly, that's not a big deal because once it's hardened, we'll sand it and it'll be ready to go. So, and that's pretty much how I do my handles. The handle's all glued on, ready to go. Gotta cut the pins down the side of the handle scales, and then we got to start grinding and getting all this extra wood and epoxy gone. So I'll bring you back after I got the pins cut off, and then we'll go over to the belt grinder and we'll work over there for a little bit, and then it's on to hand sanding the handle after we get her to shape. So okay, we'll be back. Let's get to work. Here we are at the belt grinder. Take an old like 60 grit belt. That's all I use. I mean, that's just to hog it off and get down to the metal and everything else. You don't want to mix your metal belts with your wood belts. Try to use one for one and one for the other. Because if you use a metal belt after grinding, or I'm sorry, a wood belt after using it on the metal, the metal shavings will get into your wood, and then it's a pain in the butt to get them all out. So here we go. I'm going to just do this. I probably won't talk through it and just get her done. Okay, here we go. Okay, as you can see, we've got the outline of the knife down to steel again around the tang. All around just dust. But yeah, so now I like to go in and do the finger choils right here on the belt grinder. Okay, at this point, you can see it's getting the handle shape. Um, Skinnier up here, fatter back here. Feels good in the hand already. And you can see, the finger choil, working that in. It feels really good in the hand. I mean, I could stop right now. Some people want that crisp, clean line all the way around their knife. You got to go in with a hand sanding block and keep everything flat. I'm going to round this, and you can do that right here on the slack belt, or you can do it by hand down, in your shop, just what they call a shoe shine, back and forth all the way across this. And I will do that down in my other shop too, where the finishing work is. So let's get this rounded out a little bit, and then we'll move to the other shop and start doing the hand sanding. Now you can see she's starting to smoother it out, and that's where we're going to stop up here. Now it's into the basement and the hand sanding, and we want it all same with the blade. We want all those scratch lines going up and down again. Get rid of all of them. Now I've got 60 grit marks in the handle. I don't know if you can see them, but they're in there. So now we got to get them out, and that's where I start sanding the spine and the grip right up in here. This is where I start sanding that to get it down, and we start with 60 grit because that's what we left off with. Got to get all the scratches going this way again. We don't have to go at an angle on these. Wood's a lot softer, so it's easier to get them out. But you sand them until they're gone again, and then you move up in the grits. So all right, to the other shop. Now I have this locked into this vise. It's an old Black & Decker Workmate Hobby Crafter. It articulates and everything else. It's pretty cool. Found it at a garage sale. I think I paid $1 for it or something. But you can clamp it right in there, and this is why we still have our blade taped. We don't want any scratches if you're doing this. Now this is where I do the shoe shine I was talking about. This smooths out everything, gets rid of all those big bumps. And we're going to do this and make her nice and smooth, and then we'll go and start moving up the grits the other way. And there you go. That's how we do the shoe shine. And now this knife feels really good in the hand. So now we start sanding with the green and getting rid of all the scratch marks. So 220 and work our way up through. All right, let's start. Get yourself comfortable, and just start working it. And you can see that burnt spot's starting to go away. She's almost gone already. You don't want that in there. It looks like bad craftsmanship. I mean, these are expensive pieces, and you want them to look good. So just like that, we have the handle. See how nice and shiny it is? That's up to 2000 grit. Buffed. And what I'll do is I'll add some oil to it, like some cutting board oil, and that'll help protect the wood, but also, you know, it'll even make it more shinier. But it feels really good in the hand. I mean, she's almost ready to do some work. Getting the Kydex sheath made for our little hunter. Now, I always start off with, you know, we've had this blade taped. Now I'll go back and I'll put a second layer of tape on the blade. You need that room inside that Kydex for that blade to sit in there and not scratch in and out when you take it out of the sheath. Line it up. I always push that knife to the back. Now keep your hands underneath it. This is warm. Put it down. Quick on the clamps. Alright, and just let her sit and cool for a minute. Okay, I'm back from getting it cut out with a bandsaw and getting it to shape. And you can see it's in there, and I haven't even put the rivets in yet. You just pulls, still covered, cover our blade, click, and it's in. And what's nice about Kydex too, when you do this taco style, you see how it leaves a little bit of a, like a, I don't know, fish mouth, I guess. If you do get any water in this, it will allow the water to drain out. So, you know, it helps keep your blade protected. So now let's drill our holes and get a piece wrapped around so we can attach our belt clip. We're real close. And there you have it. All put together, ready for its knife. Off camera, I took the tape off. You know, she's all ready to go in. Not going anywhere. Slide out. All the tape is off, no scratches, so she's fitting good. If there was, now's the time to, you know, clean it back up and figure out where the scratches are coming from. But everything looks good on this. Nice retention in there. Good to go. So, and the positive from the vinyl that I used to etch my logo, it doesn't go to waste. It goes right there. And if I'm doing somebody's initials or, you know, something, I take that positive and put it right here too. It just adds a little bit of flair. She's ready. She just needs to be sharpened, and we'll do that next. And then this knife will be done. So I'll start 240, get it sharp, and then 400, and then take it to a piece of leather, strop it, get rid of that burr that occurs. I just have a strip of leather that I use. You know, you can use a belt. And all you're doing is you're getting that same kind of angle and you're dragging your knife across it. You're getting rid of that burr. That burr is what makes the knife feel like it's dull. Okay, the knife is all stropped, sharp. Shave hair with it. You know, and that's what you want. You want, you know, this is a tool. You want people to be able to use it. So if it's not sharp, it's not a tool. Piece of paper. Yeah, nice and sharp. She's ready to go. So, stab, slice, it's fun. I take old bills that need to be burned anyways. So it's just fun to cut them up. So, doing the knife test, sharp, good to go. All the edges good. Sheet's done. Knife is done. Just gotta clean her up a little bit. Oil it. Like, follow, subscribe. And guys, thank you. And, you know, it means a lot to me. Every comment I read, you know, if I can get back to them right away, I can. So, yeah, let's keep building some cool stuff. And like, follow, subscribe. We'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.